So as you can see from here, the suspension histogram is pretty good because it should make a bell-shaped curve. It should be something like that. It's very close from doing that. We have seen that if you go up a little bit too much on the dampers or on the suspension stiffness, yes, you may have a perfect bell curve, but then you will start to lose a little bit the feeling of the car. So if you feel like there's a little bit of margin, you can go a little bit higher on the dampers, in the rebound and in the bump, in the slow ones. And let's have a look at the rake. There, it's pretty good. It's not too much. Going into the entry of Puon, it's about 12 to 19 mils. Then in the exit it gets a little bit less, almost zero rake. It starts to get quite flat, the car, so you get a little bit of understeer, but to be honest, that actually helps throughout the rest of the track because it's very nice and stable. So if you want to have a little bit more rotation, just go up a little bit with the rear ride height. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is in terms of brake ducts, the front ones are pretty spot on. Okay, they have a little bit of cold down the Camel straight, but that's normal. Can't do too much about it. The rear wires are a little bit too warm on the end of the lap, but if you're going for one lap in quality, that's fine. This helps you to get more temperature for the first sector, which is quite important for the lap time. Then in the second sector, you know, it's fine. Even if they are overheating a bit, then they will cool down on the last straight. And also the tire temperature is quite interesting to me. The front ones are pretty good actually, for optimal in the first sector, a little bit warm in the last sector, but fine. You always prefer to have a little bit warmer tire temperatures in a track like Spa towards the end of the end of the lap, because at least you're not going to have less grip in the first part of the lap. And the rear ones, they get actually a little bit warmer than that. And that's because, as we saw, the brake ducts were quite high. So because we are 48.5% on the rear with the brake balance, so that's pretty much the reason why but obviously if you open up the rear brake ducts a bit, you will lose performance in the first sector. And just going forward with the brake balance, just to solve this issue, I think doesn't really make sense. So it's better to focus more on the feeling and the driving on the track rather than just the temperatures. But still, if you wanted to have a little bit less rear rotation on the brakes, and you wanted to have also a little bit better temperature overall, then you would just have to go a little bit more to the front with the brake balance. You're gonna improve the temperature, and you're gonna have, let's say, less rear locking on the brakes if that's holding you up. So I hope that was helpful.